Hello guys, welcome to my channel again. If you're new here, click that subscribe button, join this awesome family. You know the drill. It's all about motivation and versatility. Now today we're here with a guest speaker, Yvonne, and she's here for a discussion on looking at the bigger picture. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. Why some people are impatient.
That's that help us become confident in
day-to-day relationships.
Okay, so like I said, it's going to be a discussion. It's not only me that's going to be doing the talking. So she's going to share her point of view, looking at the bigger picture. Yvonne, what do you understand by looking at the bigger picture?
When you talk about looking at the bigger picture, it means looking ahead.
Thinking ahead. For me, I think it's an opportunity or the chance to embrace humanity, that share of humanity that you have inside you. Now, it's very broad for anyone out there. Looking at the bigger picture is relative. And Yvonne, let's look at what's going on in this era. There are a lot of things which are going on with regards to people. People out there are saying that being good doesn't pay off.
Yeah.
And people are very selfish these days. So how can you think ahead in relation to like how you treat people? How can you look at the bigger picture in terms of that?
Okay. What I think is that, like, nowadays, as you said, people are so selfish and all that. Everybody wants to do something for him or herself. Everything is about me. Because they think that if they do something for someone, in the near future, the person wouldn't even appreciate it. Or the person wouldn't even remember.
And it's true. Like, a lot of people do that. You can help someone from the scratch, and when the person becomes big, like, they don't even remember you saying.
Sometimes somebody you help will become so successful, and maybe you might also be in need, but you go to this person and ask for help, but the person will think this or your back for you, and it's very painful. So because of that, some people don't want to help people again. It's very difficult for people to help nowadays.
So with all these things happening, how can I think ahead in terms of how people are treating me? If I'm being good and if I'm helping others out, and maybe in my time of need, I'm saying I'm not being expectant, okay, but life is in such a way that anything can happen. So if something should happen and I need their help and they're not able to help me, how should I think ahead?
I think you should just forget about what someone did to you or how they disappointed you. You just have to move forward. Okay, you just have to move forward. I don't think you should rely on anybody. Just push harder, and then you also get it back. Because of what they did to you doesn't mean you're also going to pay them back with evil. Like when somebody needs help from you, if you can help the person, just go ahead and help the person.
Is it that being labeled as a fool in quotes? Because life is not a straight line, and you're saying, yeah, we have to live our lives in such a way that we don't rely on anyone per se. But here's the case: something that's happened to you, and you need that person's help, and the person has disappointed you. What is the next thing to do? Because it's like you and I, we are good friends, and I help you. At my dire point of need, I come to you for help and you reject me. What am I supposed to do?
Well, it's so painful when somebody
Very,
do
very
that to you. It's so painful. But I would say just forget and move on. It's not easy though, but you just have to forget about the person and move on.
So if that same person comes to you for help, what will you do?
Forgive the person.
That's
the best thing to do. No, just forgive the person, okay? Because maybe the person will realize the mistake that he made at that time. When you came to him for help, he actually didn't help you. They'll realize it and even maybe regret. So I'm sure that next time they will be willing to help you.
But there are some people, and you can also testify out there, there are some people who don't have a conscience. It's like these days, when someone offends you, it's like they are the ones who expect the apology in return. They won't even ask you what triggered your emotions or what triggered what happened. They just look at your reaction and how you went about things. That's how bad things are going in this era. Like, people don't have that kind of conscience. So if you're doing something for someone, it's like you're forced to think twice.
Yeah.
How then can I like receive that person? If the person comes into my trap, or if the person comes to me for help, how can I look at the bigger picture, in the sense that the person will regret and come back to me? Because people offend and they just move on, they don't care.
Yeah.
So how?
And I think you just have to be careful on the people that you help. You have to know who to help, seriously.
You have to know who to help.
Maybe sometimes you just have to say no to them. I think that's the
And
best way to do.
saying no, that one too is a little bit difficult. So
It's difficult, but okay, I'm saying no because whatever favor you're asking from me, maybe I don't have it. So you just have to understand it.
but what if you have it? Because there are some people out there, hey, like, they're coming for loans, and I'm sure a lot of you out there can relate. When they are coming for loans, they can pretend as if their whole world is crumbling. After you get the loan, that's the end.
That's really bad, but
It
it's
goes
really
on.
bad.
It really, really goes on, and it just amazes me how self-centered a lot of people are, because it is making things very difficult in terms of looking at the bigger picture, thinking ahead. And in this dispensation that we are in, and I'm sure a lot of you out there can testify that there are some certain things out there that you are enjoying, some benefits out there you're enjoying, that is as a result of the kindness that your parents or even your grandparents exhibited to a lot of people out there. And I can use myself as a living testimony, because out of the kindness of my parents and my grandparents, there are some certain things I don't struggle for. I just have to ask and I get it. That's them thinking ahead. And I think that's what we have to do as the younger generation or the next generation, that with our relationships and friendships with people out there, when we're doing something for someone, we are thinking that in the near future, when my kids need help, this person I showed kindness to will even come back and be like, oh, Kofi, your father was once kind to me, he did this and this and that. In fact, whatever you need, just come to me. It's nice. And
Yeah, it's
that's
nice.
what I think looking at the bigger picture is. You're looking at the possibility of a bright future, in the sense that you're not thinking about yourself only, but you're also thinking about your generations.
Well, I think that's the mistake some of us are making. The fact that you help someone doesn't mean the person will help you back one day. Yeah.
That one too is there.
Yeah, because sometimes they even forget about what you did for them. They forget about you. So I think we should just take that out of our minds. Yeah, and just move on with our lives. Don't think that because I helped this person will come back tomorrow and help me. You'll be disappointed. Seriously.
Yeah, I see quotes that say that a life without expectancy saves you from disappointments, and it's true. If you look at things which are happening in this era, it's like when you're even dating, you don't have to expect anything from your partner. Otherwise, you get disappointed. So just date without expecting, so that when a person commits, you won't get disappointed. That's where it has reached. And looking at the bigger picture is relative, is very broad. You can look at the bigger picture in terms of your finances, and that one too I'm also very particular about it, because Yvonne, a lot of people are thinking about their tummies, their today. when they get money, it's also spending. It's all about showing off that they are also there. So what can you also say about that in terms of finances, looking at the bigger picture?
All I can say is that we have to be content with what we have, because nowadays if you go to social media, if you see some kind of things in people's room, like how people portray on social media, I'm not sure that like they even have those things. And some of us, when we see those things, then we are also like, hey, I want to have this, I want to have this. Then you start thinking, how will I get money to go and get this thing? How will I get money to go and buy this thing? So I think we should just be content with what we have. At the right time, all those things will come your way.
So in regards to looking at the bigger picture, we are saying looking or thinking ahead. Me, I think the best way is to saving money, and it's very, very important, because if you look at how things are becoming expensive in Ghana, I think it's very, very important to start saving. So in terms of finances, when you're looking at the bigger picture, it's all down to saving. When you get 1K, save 500K. Save 500. Yeah, save 500 and use the other 500 to chill or something. There are investments out there. Get yourself involved. If you have coins, put them in a box. If you are preparing to get married or settle down, create a fund, a college fund for your kids. Start early, start saving early. It will save you from the rainy days. So that's what we're talking about concerning looking at the bigger picture in terms of finances.
Okay, I want to ask something. I don't know. I want to ask you. Do you know there are some friends, when they need something, they'll come and ask you. Maybe they need money. They'll tell you they'll bring it back, but they'll not bring it back. What can you do? It's so painful, because maybe you two really need the money, but anytime you call them, they keep on giving you excuses and all that. What can you do?
Well, there's nothing you can actually do about it. If the person won't pay, the person won't pay. Because I have a friend of mine, she told me that she gave her AirPods to a friend to use. She said she needed it for a week, and she gave it to the person. When the time was up, she called the person. The girl was saying that she has traveled, so she'll bring it back the following month. Right now, when the girl calls, zero, she doesn't pick, the phone is off. What can you do? You can't do anything. And that's because you go to the person's house and go and bombard the person and collect your thing.
It's really painful, like so painful.
Yeah. I also have a friend of mine who asked me for money, and I gave it to her. She actually told me that she would give it back to me. And I just knew in my heart that this girl, if I give it to her, she won't bring it. So in my heart, I was like, I'm giving it to you, and I'm not expecting you to pay. Like just like you, she never brought it, and I was not disturbed, because I knew that it was from my heart, and I wasn't expecting her to bring it back. So expectancy breeds disappointment. So that's how I'm going to answer your question.
Okay. And me like this, I sell perfumes, okay? And sometimes
she sells perfumes.
Sometimes people buy on credit, and when I call them for the money, all kind of excuses. Somebody even went ahead to tell me that he sent the money to my number. Meanwhile, he never sent any money. So this guy told me he sent the money himself. Later on, he changed his map that he gave it to someone to send. I was like, what are you saying? So it means you did not send the money, you are lying to me. So I was just like, you should just keep the money, because I realized he doesn't want to pay, so you just keep it.
So in terms of this, in the near future, if he comes back and he's in dire need, like he really needs it, or he needs a product, or maybe a friend tells that, Yvonne, there's this guy who wants to buy something from me on credit, what do you think? Then you tell the person what he did to you. It goes against him. So this is how looking at the bigger picture can come in place. You're doing something without thinking that, there's a possibility that what goes wrong comes around. You understand? The law of karma. And I also level this down to school. You're in class, you think that, oh, you're the most rascal and riff-raff person in class and something, and you want to further your education, and you're like during your time on campus, you were just wreaking havoc, giving lecturers headache, and they all know you and they tell you that no, you're a stubborn boy. You come back for recommendation that, oh, you want to further your, or maybe you are even looking for a recommendation letter to what, go to a company to work, and the lecturers are like, you, when you're on campus, this and this and this, and this is how you were, I will not give you that recommendation letter. So you see how thinking ahead like comes into place. When you're on campus, you ain't thinking about the fact that
we don't think about those things at all.
So that's how looking at the bigger picture works. And another way of looking at it is doing unto others that you want others to do unto you. Is very critical, and a lot of people don't understand that principle, and it's very sad. Something that you wouldn't like someone to do to you, they are doing to someone.
Can you imagine?
And when you do it to them, you're seeing that the person is wicked. I don't get it. So this is just an awareness video, a discussion to bring your attention on why you should look at the bigger picture. And the first point, as I've raised, if you've been paying attention, is the fact that you never know when you need help. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's it. You never know when you need help. So whatever you are doing, I think you should think twice before you do it.
Thinking twice, thinking ahead. If you come to mafia someone, think ahead. You never know when you need a person. So in a world where it's so difficult to reciprocate love or be kind to someone, what do you think we should do? Like it's so difficult to show love, reciprocate, because no one wants to be taken for a fool. How?
Seriously, right now, I think you just have to know who you have to make friends with. And don't always give your heart to people. I don't know, don't put your trust in people so much, because they can always disappoint you. So you just have to be careful in whatever you are doing.
We've gotten to the end of the video, and before we go, we're just going to take some closing remarks from our guest speaker. So Yvonne.
Okay, the little I can add to it is that there are still good souls out there, you know, who our children will be looking up to someday when we are gone. So I think we should be better ourselves so that the world will be a better place tomorrow. Yeah.
So the whole idea is to be a blessing, to the extent that when your name is being mentioned out there, people would see you as a blessing and not a curse. So we come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed yourself and that you look at the bigger picture. Whenever you're doing something, you think twice. You look at the possibilities of your goodness being returned to you, even though you mustn't expect it. Do things out of the kindness of your heart, and even if people don't remember, God will always remember, and He will definitely reward you. So until then, you take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.